had a little update for you guys. Really, an update is more like a testimony in terms of how I was able to get through it. Although I was doing it part-time, that it was totally God intervening in my life. I have completed my college degree some while ago, and I was thinking about the whole process, and like thinking about it, it wasn't done on a natural aspect. Like I could have seen God's intervention and God's hand on it, in it. So before I moved on to college, I was sat off when I remember when I was doing CXC exam, right? So on doing my CXC exam, mathematics to be specific, I remember falling asleep during that exam on paper 2, which carried the majority amount of maths and brain work. So when I decided I work on that day at the table doing my exam, all I heard was 5 more minutes. So I was to rush, see how much I could have get done, and I didn't get it done because it was just 5 minutes. Exam results, I was in complete I didn't know what to think. But I did pray. I prayed even after that God will intervene, that His favor, His hand will be upon whoever is correcting my paper and all these things. So I was so surprised that I was able to get a 1 in mathematics, although I didn't complete the majority, which I say the heavier paper. So I got a 1, not a 3, not a 2, but I got a 1. So that's just to say that prayer truly works. Moving on to my college degree now. So we had 3 exams to do, 3 practical exams, right? Level 1, level 2, level 3. We have to pass level 1 in order to move on to level 2, 3, right? And then regionals. So I remember doing my level 1 exam. I signed up for my level 1 exam. On the day of my level 1 exam, I remembered that I was there, 7 o'clock past, 8 a.m. past, 8:30, 9. So I thought it was quite strange. So I decided to call my examiner to see what was the whole situation, because usually they will be there like around 7:30 or even 8 o'clock to start the exam. So on doing that now, so to hear that I didn't give up a confirmation for the exam to be on that particular day, which I did, but spiritual things don't work like that. But however, not when God is involved. After having that conversation, I was very disappointed. I didn't know what to think. I was kind of angry because I'm done tired. I'm exhausted. You all know how level exams are. You're tired, you're exhausted. A couple days before the exam, the preparation, all these things. You're sleep deprived, all these things. You just want to get over the exam and go and sleep and get a rest and feel that relief. So I decided to, on that day, I prayed right after having that conversation. God intervene, God do something. I stayed on the word for a while, as soon as I heard that, I was going to leave, because the whole point of being there was to do the exam on that particular day, and I was done tired. So something just told me and said, stay for a while. So I stayed for a while, I prayed, I stayed for a while, do what it is I need to do with the nurses, etc. So about 20 minutes later, I saw coordinators from my college, and they was asking me, did you do your exam? I was like, no, I have not yet. Explain the whole situation to them. So one of them said, don't worry, I will do your exam. But however, before that, they suggested that I contacted the head coordinators of the school, which I did, and the head coordinators suggested that they would speak to my examiner and let her do my exam. Right? She's a sweet lady, by the way, but they will speak to her and let her do my exam. So it so happened that I was able to reschedule my exam within that same semester without delay. So on the day of that level 1 exam now, it ran smoothly. God intervened, no hiccups, nothing. My exam ran smooth, I passed, thank God for that. So moving on to my level 2 exam, which is medication, administration, etc. So on that exam itself, my patient decided to just bleed all of a sudden, just bleeding profusely. And I compressed, I applied pressure and all these things. The doctor was contacted on his way. So moving on from that now, out of nowhere that happened. So there was some interruptions I could have seen that may have caused me, or potentially caused me to feel a little nervous, a little nerve-wracking in that situation. But thank God that He allowed me to passed through, and even the resource list I had, I really had to thank her. I could never stop thanking her that she stuck out for me. She was right on my back, making sure I had everything necessary in order to pass that exam. Sometimes it make you feel like, oh my gosh, well, nah, well, I guess I might have to do this over. But however, although I did felt like that, I still prayed. I didn't take that as a final say, because many times, although we may get that projection, knowing that we helping the enemy in our demonic prophecy for our life, that I just think I fail, so I guess I failed. Hear how you do? I don't know, and I probably fail. But it's you, words are powerful. And even your perception is powerful. Because the thoughts of foolishness is sin. So we have to speak like, although it may not look like it in the physical, things are spiritual. So I still prayed. I prayed even after the exam. And it so happened I did pass the exam. Thank God for that. Moving on to management exam now. Managing on that day, so like about 10 minutes before my exam, I remembered one of the patients, he had passed away before the exam. A couple minutes, we knew that he was going to pass, but we wasn't sure on that particular day, on my exam day, but we wasn't sure exactly when. And it so happened that he happened to pass like 10 minutes before the exam. And the whole procedure, the whole protocol, the whole policy in terms of when this patient passed away, all these things that how was they implemented for my examiner, peradventure, if she had reached and saw the crash of that patient. So that would have been even more intense in terms of me doing that extra work, because we all know for our exam we just want to do things to go as smoothly as possible. So not from that now, that was one of my best exams, I should say, because things ran smoothly. There was a lot of students there to assist with the procedure. There were a lot of patients who had to go MOT, ultrasound, all these procedures. Patients coming from MOT, so it wasn't short staff on that particular day. So I thank God for that. I remember some of my colleagues were saying, well, look at you, how you're so optimistic, how is you so excited to do this exam? You're not frightened. I was like, I know that I'm not the one doing the exam, so there was no really need. Of course, you have a little nerve here and there, but that total anxiety, skyrocketing high, no, that wasn't really an issue for me, because I know in time past it was God who had taken me through certain exams, and I have seen His supernatural hand in terms of making me pass those exams supernaturally. As I was saying, with that same management exam, it ran very, 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 very smoothly. I remember my theoretical aspect together with my practical aspect, so it was very good. And I asked my examiner, did I pass? She was like, I can't answer that, but all I could do is pray. So even after the exam, I still prayed. I ain't taking that for that. It so happened that I did pass the exam, because it was God's will that I passed the exam. Not in my strength, not because I did something, not because I had a smart, intelligent, I was a rocket scientist. No, it was God who had took me through those exams. And so now I've completed, but that even doing this degree part-time, and even Him giving me degrees, although I was working, I was doing other things like side academically and all these things that I was still able to complete. So I thank Him for that. It's now just to do regional exam. And I'm not, although I may think that I am, sometimes you may think that, you may be missing some things. And even the way that it happened, that I happened to be on the regional list, I remember it was a couple of times ago, I had to do a certain course in order for my name to be on the regional exam. So on doing that now, I remember that as I registered for the course, but the course was very full. So I waited for a while. I sent in a form to try and still fit me in. So I waited a while, a week passed, 2 weeks passed. I keep checking the classroom, I keep checking to see if I joined the class, and nothing happened. So I thought eventually that I didn't get through because the class was already full. So that's probably for next semester. Lo and behold, about 2 months after, I got a call from my lecturer and say, "Hi, is this in teacher register?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why haven't you been coming to class?" I was like, "What?" I thought the class was full. So when it is, I checked who won the classroom and realized that they fit me in unknowingly. So I didn't have to wait for next semester in order to do that course. which is very strange. So, although I had a lot of work to do and I had to catch up on a lot of work because it's a whole 2 months and God was able to fit me in. I done reach projects already, so that was the ending of the course. The course almost ending. And so just to say that it was God intervening and in order for me to reach into that regional list. So I'm not really frightened or worried because I know if God took me supernaturally from those other stuff, that He will also take me supernaturally through this as well. Because if it wasn't His will, He would not go through all of that, all that fighting. And even the way that happened, He just showed it to me that it's because of Him that I was able to do these things. It's His hand that made it possible for me to do these things. Not encouraged by the kingdom of darkness for me to progress at a certain level. So I know that it was God doing, and it was God's will. And just to say, once God has His hand and His will and a desire for your life, it will happen. Not by your strength. You may think that no resources are there, nothing you can do about it. There's a pattern, there's a trend that things don't happen this way. Once God has a say, it is what it is. And moving on from that now, so I'm excited to do this regional exam and get it over with, because I'm not on my own strength. Like I said, if God took me supernaturally at this point of my life, it's because He is going to take me through it with flying colors. I'm so excited to get it done. So yeah, I just wanted to share this thing as a form of encouragement. And even remembering certain scriptures, Joseph said unto Pharaoh, it is not in me, God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. It wasn't in me in all this process, but it was God who was intervening in these matters. Right? So with man it is impossible. With man, people will say, people like you can't make it. Nobody in your family make it. Who is you? What will make you think that you could do it? I can't do it. But I know the God that I serve is able to bring me through it. So that's just it, and we'll keep you guys posted. Stay tuned, I have a surprise for you guys. So stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you on my future videos. Guys, if you have any comments, if you have any feedback, questions, queries, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Bye. I'm practicing for council. So it's a couple of days. This is the week that is supposed to come out. It's a holiday. See you guys.